I mean, you saw us walk in the room, you saw everybody walk in the room, you either thought, that's a beautiful top, or why she got that on? So you said something in your mind. So that's, I don't care what you said, because that's not why we're here to talk about what you said, but you formulate opinion. So with that in mind, you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward when you go into the interview. So let's talk about the top 10 things that employers look for in a potential candidate. Does anybody know what number one is?
Can we ask questions?
Kind of, sort of. Go a little deeper there.
Professional?
You're getting cold now. So asking questions is a part of your what?
Knowing about what job you're applying for.
But asking questions is a part of your what? What skill is that? It's a skill.
Critical thinking.
That's one of them, but it's verbal skills. Mm-hmm. Being able to articulate your message, being able to articulate your thoughts and ideas, so that when Ms. Beth asks you, so tell me about yourself, you don't say, well, what do you want to know? Or you have to think about it. You immediately know, I'm chipper. I'm determined. I'm really excited about working for Public Allies because it falls in line with what I want to do in my life. You immediately know. You're able to verbally articulate your thoughts and ideas to the employer. You talked about critical thinking. That's another one. That's important. Analytical. If let's say they ask you, what's been the greatest challenge that you've ever faced in your life? And trust me, that will probably be a question because you're getting ready to go out here and work in a nonprofit environment with, to develop yourself as a young leader. So what's the most difficult challenge you've ever faced? Now, we're going to actually do some role-playing here to talk about this in a little more in detail. But, be thinking about this. What kind of challenges? You're young. See, I've been around for a while, so I can tell you about 1,000 challenges that I've had, and one that I just had this morning. But, in your young life, you may not have had as many challenges as I have. But in your life, you had some challenges. Maybe you were studying for the algebra test, and you just knew you were going to fail it, but you kept studying and you kept studying, and you knew how challenging it was because you don't like math. But then when you got your test result back, you got a B. You overcame a challenge. But how did you overcome that challenge? Because you studied. And you studied harder than you'd ever studied before. So you're thinking about how you did this. Okay? So teamwork. They want to know, can you work well with the team? Now, I don't know how many of you spoke to each other when you came in here, or did you just come in and sit down? But, if you're going to be working together in this environment, you are the beginning of the network. This is your network right here, right now. If you all get hired, and hopefully you will, this is going to be the beginning. And so from this point, you develop your own team of public allies of Durham, North Carolina. Another one is drive, and I heard a number of you say you had passion, you had determination. So tell me what drives you. That might be a question on the interview. Be thinking about that. What really drives you? What really drives you crazy? What really drives you to do your best? And when you know those, when you can just rattle off that answer, what are we going back to? Being able to articulate your thoughts and ideas, which is the number one thing the employers want. Remember? Okay. Written communication. Oh, gee. We could spend a whole session on that. But I won't, because I just want to say this. We live in a texting world where about is now ABT. 2 is the number 2 instead of TO or TOO. I don't know is IDK. In the real world, there's no texting language. There is no texting language. And let me carry that a little bit further, too. There is no such thing as ebonics. There is no such thing as ghetto speak. There is no such thing as white people. You speak like white. You either speak good grammar or you speak bad grammar. That's it. So polish up on those written skills. And when you go to put your resume together, if you're not clear on the sentence, I heard someone, I went to the grocery store, and there was a young lady standing outside, and she was on her cell phone, and she said, "You gonna go by my daddy's house." That's what I heard, and I thought, oh. And I wanted to correct her, but I didn't know her. I just let that go. But you can't put that down on a resume. You gonna go, well, whatever you say. Every sentence has a noun and a verb, and there are S's on the ends of words. Sometimes there are daddies. First of all, you gonna go by my daddy's house. I don't even know if that was a question or what it was. What was it a thing? Yeah, what was it? So think about this. If you're asking a question, make it a question. If you're writing a statement, make it a statement. And if you're unclear when you complete the process, ask somebody. Ask your, you got your mom here. Ask your mom, does this sound right? Does this sound right? Or ask somebody that you know can help you. Does this sound right? So that way, when you do put it all together, you'll, be putting the best resume you can put together. Now, if you don't back it up with the way you speak, then you got a problem. Because then they're going to question, well, who really wrote this? Did she write this, or did somebody write this for her? Because if you go in saying, you go by my daddy's house, and you wrote, I will be going by my father's house, on the resume, there it really is. Okay? All right. Being flexible. Being able to, this is something employers want. Being able to, maybe one day you're supposed to be out doing something and your supervisor needs you to just run paper copies or just to sit in the office and answer the phone or whatever it is, something that's going to change what you're normally assigned to do. You can't have that too. I didn't sign up for this. I don't want to do this. Or get on your cell phone and start talking, I hate this job because I got to do something else. You can't do that.
Well, can I add one to
that?
Yes, and don't put it on social media.
Yes.
Don't put, I hate this job on social media, or my supervisor, or my coworker did something. Don't put that on social media.
Exactly.
Because I've seen that happen, and then I had to call a person and say, excuse me, you've got to take that down immediately.
Yes, either?
No, we try to work with people, so it's a learning moment. It's a teachable moment.
Okay, well, it's about a teachable moment in Twitter. Teachable moment. Young lady goes for a job at a pizza place and got the job. So she, on Twitter, sent a message and saying, and I'm not going to tell you the exact words, but if I put the letter, you'll know what I mean. She said, oh, gee, I have to start this F job tomorrow. Well, her manager saw that on Twitter. He said, no, you don't. You're fired. So be mindful of what you're putting out there as a professor. That is so important. So, and that's a whole other subject, and we won't get into that either. Time management is the last one. And that's knowing how to budget your time. It should not, if you get an assignment that's going to take you 30 minutes to complete, 4 hours later you should not be working on it. You shouldn't be. You should be equipped, hey, I can knock this out. As a matter of fact, be impressive. Knock it out in 15 minutes. I mean, that would be really impressive because, you know what, once again, you're always going to be judged by the way you look, act, and speak. So if you are looking and acting and speaking like you really want to make a difference in this world, somebody is going to take note. Somebody is really going to take note of who you are and what you're doing.